So it is really, really not that far of a stretch to say that the outcome of the 2020 US presidential elections will in some way have an effect on Brexit. Now, we've already discussed this before that if Joe Biden wins, he has very, very clearly said from the word go, he was part of the Obama administration, not a fan. Not a fan of Brexit, not a fan of Johnson either. We went over the comments just is it a couple of weeks ago now, of former aides that he was with in the White House, of that they don't forgive Johnson for the article that he wrote about Obama and the comments that made, and that they basically consider Trump and essentially Brexit and even Johnson himself to be cut from the same cloth. And the idea that a Johnson presidency, a Biden presidency, not Johnson presidency, a Biden presidency is going to be looking favourable on a quote sovereign UK is not going to look favourable at all, especially if we are seen to be breaking the Good Friday Agreement, which many Democrats do. And of course, even if Biden did lose, there are many Democrats that would fervently oppose any trade deal done between America and the UK because of the breaking of the Good Friday Agreement. Now, of course, we've said this before, but this whole US trade deal is like the pillar, the core of what many Brexiteers want. This is the cream of their dreams. This is what they really want, because this opens up the back door to many almost instant deregulations. Despite what the Conservatives said about many EU laws will be moved into quote British law, that's not the case should we get a trade deal, because overnight many of these laws could just disappear like that. Very simple. As well as institutions such as NICE, which we've talked about before, which is critical to our NHS. So, this comes from Andrew Adonis. Say what you like about Andrew Adonis, he can be a bit bombastic at times, but he's really right in, I think, calling this. So, US election could spark the end of Brexit, claims peer. So, Labour peer and political commentator Andrew Adonis has claimed that the US election the result next week, could spark the end of Brexit. Lord Adonis, the New European contributor, provoked a debate after pointing out that if Donald Trump fails to make it back into the White House, it could cause a domino effect within populist politicians, including Boris Johnson and his aide Dominic Cummings. Adonis wrote, "The most important thing that will happen in British politics this year is next Tuesday's American election. The end of Trump is the beginning of the end of Johnson and Cummings and Brexit. It comes after leading Brexit voices, including Piers Morgan, acknowledged that the only way a Trump win would be best for ensuring a Brexit deal with America. Numerous reports have also hinted that Johnson will resign in 6 months along with his political aide Cummings. Voices in Johnson's government have already started to row back their comments about America as they frantically reposition themselves for a change of administrations. So even our government is looking at the polls and it's looking like Biden's going to win. So Paul Duncan tweeted in agreement of Adonis's claims. He wrote, "My sentiments are exactly the same, except a softer Brexit trade agreement if Biden wins, disguised, of course, as a massive victory for the UK." Laura Harris McBride replied, "I've been saying that for months. The fascists need company because they are so mentally and emotionally weak. I'm praying like mad for Trump to lose in a landslide, so it will all be over." Brexiteer John Scotting also found himself in agreement, but was not celebrating the suggestion, saying, "This is why a transition period taking us until after the US election was a horrendous error. If and when the anti-UK Democrats get in, I expect Boris to cave and we will be back on the road to rejoin. Although others were more sceptical. Chris Planer wrote, I really hope that this is true, although you can't end Brexit, it's already happened. Alan McQuaid commented, I fear the UK has many more years of abject humiliation ahead of itself, irrespective of what happens on Tuesday. Another also comment said, let's not count our chickens. I have everything crossed, but who'd have thought that the Conservatives would get an 80-seat majority? And he is right to point that out, of course, with that comment at the end. But if you add everything up of what's going on in all this, it does not look good for Trump, and it does not look good for Brexit. You've had a lot of Brexiteers who were trying to push as quickly as they possibly could for Britain to leave the European Union as quickly as possible. Remember, it was the ERG that pushed Theresa May as soon as she got in to try and trigger Article 50 as quickly as possible, even though there were many other people saying, well, hold on, that only gives us 2 years to try and sort this all out. And you've seen the result of what's happened. So make no mistake, everything that, even since the referendum, is not the fault of Remainers trying to fight back against different governments, from Theresa May's up to Boris Johnson's now. It has been the fault of Brexiteers, to a point now that you have Boris Johnson in control of a very, very pro Brexit Tory party, and every member of his cabinet was selected for their views on Brexit. So, as we've said before, I'm glad that they're all in and that they won, because there's nothing that can stop them. When Brexit fails, and it is just a matter of when, and I've said it before, it will pretty much fail on the 1st of January, because it is a project that has no policies attached to it, so it's got nothing to run on. This is going to be an absolute catastrophe. It doesn't matter that we have this quote, and I say in the lightest of terms, trade deal, because it wasn't a trade deal. We've talked about it before, about how this does not replace anything, and even the quote soy sauce debacle of the fact that the UK's most popular brand of soy sauce is produced in the Netherlands, which basically means that there's going to be a tariff on it. And even then, trying to export soy sauce from Japan itself is going to just increase the cost anyway. So, this is basic trade, and we've discussed this before, basic trade 101. But we've said multiple times before on this how Brexit is not going to work, how many times it's going to fail. We've pointed out all its all the Brexiteers' wishful thinking, and of course here we are. And of course it will be interesting to see what happens going forward. Like I say, we are quote expecting a Brexit deal in the next 2 weeks, which does coincide with the obviously the US election. You have many, again, US politicians, UK politicians, shall I say, MPs in particular, and Brexit supporters trying to erase the past of what they've said about, obviously, Obama and Joe Biden, and are going to be desperate. But that's not going to be Biden's priority. Biden's priority will be to rebuild ties with the European Union, namely, of course, Paris, Brussels, and of course Berlin. Those will be his priority. We're not in the EU anymore. We said it before, we lose a lot of soft power from being outside the EU, but we did say that before. But there you go. You're going to find me saying that a lot in the near future, I can guarantee you that. So, with that said, please do hit the like and share button. It does help out the channel. And of course, if you would like to support the channel another way, there are links below to my Patreon page, as well as a one-off donation link. So thanks very much to the people who do support me that way. Your support is very, very much appreciated. So with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.